Hey everyone. So we are going to talk about the cell cycle. Cell cycle is very important. It is exactly what it sounds like. It is the cycle of the cell. So what does the cell do? When does it do it? And why does it do it? And it's very important to keep that in mind. One thing that people tend to confuse is they think of mitosis. We will cover mitosis in a later video in this slideshow. But it's very important to first mention that mitosis is a part of the cell cycle. It is not the cell cycle. It's just one section of it. In fact, in humans, it makes up about 10% of the entire cell cycle, which is kind of crazy, right? So what else is going on? And that's what we're going to talk about in the next few slides. So cell cycle is the process or the cycle in which cells will go through. Like what do they do in order to prepare and then actually divide? And then what do they do during their life cycle, right? The cell cycle is broken off into a few phases. The first is called interphase. The second is mitosis, we just talked about. And then we can talk about cytoplasmic division, meaning that they split apart. And then lastly, differentiation, when they change. Within the cell cycle, there are a few stages as well. So the very first stage is called the growth phase, also known as G1. And this is when the cell synthesizes new proteins and grows in size. At the end of this stage, the centrioles will replicate, so they're preparing for division. The next phase is called the S or synthesis phase. Again, synthesis means to create something or make something. And this is where we will have our DNA replication occur. G2 phase is the second growth phase. So this is going to be we grow once, we get our DNA, and then we grow a second time. In this phase, this is when the cell is going to make enzymes that we need for the actual cellular division. All right. All three of these components here are known as interphase, which we'll talk about more in the next slide. Once you do all that, you can do mitosis. All right. So let's talk about interphase in more detail.